Congressional approval, I want to start with that because what is the appetite, George, for increasing annual defense spending by 50%?
You know, I guess I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's challenging despite the fact that Republicans run Congress right now. They obviously won't run it forever. The 2027 bill could be sort of approved later this year, right before I think they go into, elections in November. So they'd have to go back into their districts and talk about it. $500 billion seems like a lot of extra money in a country that's managing challenges from healthcare and other issues. So, I mean, I think there's an appetite for more, but I don't know that there's an appetite for $500 billion more.
George, it's a lot of money. Can we spend all that money in a year? I mean, how do we do that?
No, I mean, I think that's one of our concerns, right, would be these are, we're really jumping pretty quickly here, right? Under the Biden administration, we were, 800 to 900 billion. So Trump was even 100 and some billion above that. And now he's talking about being 600 billion above where we left the Biden administration. This is heavy industry kind of business, right? This is, even if you're doing software and drones, you're still doing fiberglass manufacture, you're still building products, and it takes time to put, the productive capacity in place and build. I don't think you can build it with what you have in place already from productive capacity. So I think there's a fair amount of lag on all of this. So I think it would be very difficult to get that $500 billion spent, to jump to extra $500 billion in a single year.
Okay, so let's say a few $100 billion. Maybe this is just a starting point. Maybe this is the so-called art of the deal. I don't know. But maybe this is a starting point for the president. Let's say Congress does appropriate additional funds. Then where exactly do you think that money goes? Is it Golden Dome? Is it shipbuilding? Is it long-range missiles? Is it all of the above?
Well, I think you hit on the three biggest
ones. Well, I got it right from your note, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
George published that note.
It's good stuff.
Shipbuilding you can drop a lot of money into pretty quickly. Again, you're not going to get results right away. It takes a lot of years to build ships. There's a lot of long lead time items. And shipbuilding is a particular deficit right now and a big focus in the administration in a world where it's global power competition and, submarines are competing against submarines around the globe. You could drop a lot of money into against submarine and surface ships. And so I think that would probably be close to number one on that list. Some of the others you mentioned, Golden Dome is going to be a lot of money, and it's going to be over a lot of years. Long Range Strike probably absorbs a little bit less, but it's super important. I just don't see it being able to put.
What about the companies that are recipients of this?
Well, I mean, look, I think if you go into shipbuilding, right, you've got two primaries there, Huntington Ingalls and General Dynamics. But I think the challenge is we just can't build anything on time anymore and on budget in shipbuilding world. And so the administration wants to get more manufacturers, more shipbuilders into that business. Companies like Hanwha have bought U.S. shipyards with an interest in getting into this business. You could see some money get shunted into, some of the foreign manufacturers that are coming to America to build, although I don't know that Philadelphia has that much capacity right now or the capability to build full ships right now. But that's those are some of them, right? And then the others are the usual suspects. So you just couldn't spend this kind of money without going through the Lockheed Martins, right? They're going to help with Long Range Strike. They're going to help with Golden Dome, the Northrops, the RTXs, the Boeings. You're just not going to be able to spend this kind of money without going back to those usual suspect big primes that he was banging on yesterday about, about capping CEO pay and eliminating dividends and share buybacks. So
well, let's go there, because I think that kind of shocked us a little bit, and it certainly impacted the trade there. I mean, what are you hearing? I mean, does any of that make sense? Is that going to make companies invest in more, production here in the U.S.?
Wait, but can he even do that?
Well, yeah. I mean, from a regulatory, can the president demand that of publicly held companies?
I don't know that he could do it from a regulatory perspective. I think you'd have to get our legal people on the line. But to me, if in the old world, when I was in business school, I was kind of told that the shareholders own the company. And if the shareholders own the company, they kind of get to make the decision. I think his influence is contracts. So maybe he could come in, and we kind of heard that in his tweet against RTX yesterday, right? Look, you're spending a lot of money on share buybacks. I'm not going to give you any more contracts. But there are companies that have competitive, skills inside these spaces that are not readily transferable.
Exactly. I'm so glad you said that, George. Yeah. So it's if you're not spending with RTX, then where are you going to get what RTX was doing for the U.S. government over a 10-year period?
Yeah, RTX builds the Patriot, right? So are we just going to shut down Patriot production for 5 years while someone else figures out how to put that system together? Or 3 years? Do we have a year? Do we have 6? We don't have any time, right? We need more of these. We need them right now. That's why he's frustrated, right? You really, it would be difficult, I think, not to give them contracts. There could be some, at the edges where you could take away to probably show you're doing something.
Hey, just 30 seconds. I'm just curious, George, is everything in defense built here?
For the most part, it is. It's we've made big strides in making everything U.S. made. You can have foreign owners, but typically it's made inside this country.